Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Mason City High School and 4A Regional Quarterfinal Softball. Tonight, the Decorah Vikings take on the Mason City Mohawks this evening. The Mohawks come in with a record of 8-23, and the Vikings come in with a record of 6-23. And the winner of this game will travel to Charles City in the regional semifinals on Saturday night. My name is Darren Swenson, alongside Decorah High School Athletic Director, Activities Director Adam Riley. Tonight, we're his one and only broadcast per year. Adam, had some threatening weather, but the weather is out of here, and we're ready to play some ball.
Yeah, we're pretty fortunate here. We look like on the way over we're going to run into some storms, ended up veering off to the north, so we can get started relatively on time, and it's a beautiful night for softball right now.
Hannah Factor in left, Anna Linsing at first base, Jenny King at short, Sammy Miller the catcher, Sydney Miller at third base, Kayla Till at second, Bobby Tilkus the designated player, McKenna Mentink the pitcher, Erica Mariner in right field, and Katie Fortman in center field. That is the lineup for Mason City. Decorah won the toss, so they are the home team here tonight. Doug Bolin is the home plate umpire, and Rod Rindle will work the base pass, as Hannah Factor will be the leadoff hitter for Mason City here tonight. We do have some dark clouds to our north, but the sun popping out a little bit here this evening as well. As a little bit of conversation between Coach Iverson, Doug Bolin, and Ashley Stout, the head coach for Mason City, on the lineup card to begin the game, and away we go.
Yeah, what's happening there is I know the lineup card that was handed in had Hannah Factor's number being 7. She's actually wearing number 1, and the numbers actually aren't as relevant in the actual lineup card as what it is the name, and to make sure it's the right person. So Coach Iverson just wanted to make sure so everybody's on the same page.
Hannah Factor from the left-hand side to face Lizzie Hartman, and the first offering is a strike from Lizzie at 6:59. No balls and 1 strike on Factor. And now, and I think they actually called an illegal pitch on Hartman to start the game, so it's 1 ball and no strikes. She must have gotten called for the crow hop. The 1-0 delivery in there for a strike, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
2 really good early pitches by Lizzie. She's very aware of the most important strike, and at bat is getting that first strike as soon as you can.
Lizzie 6-16 with a 5.09 ERA. Pitch outside, 2 balls, 1 strike on Factor. The Decorah defense, Ashley Schwartzoff in left, Lexi Leuenberger in center, Katie Nimrod in right. At third base, Haley Neerling, Riley Monteith at short. 2 balls and 1 strike, and the pitch at the letter is taken for a strike. It's 2-2. Alex Habel at second, Ambria Pipo at first. Lauren Eggert, good to have her back behind the plate tonight, and Lizzie Hartman in the circle. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Factor, and the pitch rolled in there by Lizzie. It's now 3-2. Just underway, no score for a regional quarterfinal softball tonight on AM 1240 KDEC Decorah and at KDECradio.com. 3-2 ground ball toward short, fielded there by Monteith, throws on to first base, and beating it out was Factor. Monteith fielded it cleanly, went up and throwing, but credit Factor for hustling down the line and getting an infield single.
It's a good approach to the ground ball by Riley on that end of things. Just Factor running out of the left-hand side of the box. It's a bang-bang play, and that was the difference, 1 step.
Anna Lensing, a right-hand hitter, will stand in with the runner at first base. Nobody out, no score here in the top of the first inning. Lensing squares to bunt, does so up the third base side. A little indecision between Neerling and Hartman on who to get it. Neither of them do, and Factor makes it all the way to third. It's first and third with nobody out for the Mohawks here in the top of the first inning.
Really well-placed bunt there on that end of things, just in terms of just being far enough off the line, and both of them, you want to communicate early to make sure who's going to get the ball as opposed to kind of running into each other, but credit to the Mohawks there on a well-placed bunt.
In fact, we're seeing nobody at third base, taking the extra 60 feet. Jenny King is the batter, looks at the first pitch high, and a delayed steal will allow Lensing to take second base. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Jenny King will bat with runners at second and third, nobody out here in the top of the first inning of a scoreless game. And the pitch swung on a ground ball up the middle and through for a base hit. Factor will score. Lensing will make it to third as the throw goes home. Up to second will go King. It's 1-0 Mason City.
Kind of an ill-advised throw there by Lexi as we let him advance an extra base before we made sure that we got a ball into somebody to be able to cut it off.
So Jenny King with the RBI. And for King, that is RBI number 30 on the season. She leads the Mohawks in that category. First and third, or rather second and third with nobody out, and Sammy Miller will look at a strike, 0-1. Mohawks leading by a 1-0 margin as we play the top half of the first inning. Decorah is the home team by virtue of the coin flip. The pitch low, it gets by Eggert momentarily, but not enough to warrant runner advancement. It's 1-1 strike. Lauren Eggert back after suffering a concussion against MFL Marmac last week. I believe actually against Southwind last week. 1-1, swinging a foul away. 1-2 strikes.
Yeah, very good to see Lauren back. Really solidifies the lineup for us a little bit. Went through the full concussion protocol. Was feeling really quite a bit better about a day afterwards. But she's went through the protocol and feeling pretty well.
1-2 strikes. Hartman delivers, and the pitch swinging a foul back to the screen. 1-2 strikes, and just how Lauren is probably bothered her more being out than the injury itself.
Yeah, absolutely. She loves softball. She loves to play. She loves to catch. Just a real solid leader in many ways for this team.
1-2 strikes, second and third, nobody out, 1-0 Mohawks here in the top of the first. Pitch swung on, fly ball left center field. After it is Schwartz off, she can't get there. Lensing will score. King coming around third. She will score on a 2-run double by Miller. And just the start you wanted if you're Mason City. It's 3-0.
Got to find a way to work to get the first out here. The bunt opportunity was clearly that opportunity that existed that they were going to give to us, and the sooner you can get that first out, the more control you're going to have as the game flows.
Now everybody on the team meets in the center of the field to give Lizzie a few words of encouragement for Sammy Miller. That was double number 5 RBIs, 13 and 14 on the season. Sydney Miller will be the batter, batting from the left-hand side with a runner at second. Still nobody out. Top half of the first inning of a 3-0 lead for Mason City. First pitch blown away, 1-2 strikes. Mason City, record-wise, doesn't stand out. 8-31, but one of the teams they beat this year was Waverly Shellrock.
Yeah. The CIML is going to be a little bit tougher competition. If you look at their roster,
1-0 delivery outside, 2-0.
It's pretty similar to ours in that they've got 3 freshmen and an 8th grader that are playing. We're pretty young on our roster, so I'm sure they experience some of those growing pains at certain points in time in terms of execution.
2 strikes. Pitch swung on, fly ball right field. Underneath it is Katie Nimrod. She'll make a 2-handed catch. Runner at second. Miller stays put, and there's the first out here in the top of the first inning. So 1 down and a runner at second. And
looks like an illegal pitch was called.
And another illegal pitch is called on Lizzie Hartman, so it'll be 3 balls, no strikes. So Miller, in that situation, gets to advance since there was a runner on base, and there will be a ball added to the count on Lizzie Hartman. So it's 3 balls and no strikes.
Yep. It's tough when that happens, especially when it eliminates an out.
So it's 3 balls, no strikes, and now a runner at third with nobody out. As Lizzie, I believe, called for the crow hop for the second time as the pitch goes outside, ball 4. It gets by Lauren, but not enough to warrant runner advancement. So first and third with nobody out, and Kayla Till will be the batter. A 3-0 lead for Mason City, an RBI single for Jenny King, and a 2-run double for Sammy Miller. As Till squares to bunt, takes the pitch high. Now the runner between first and second tries to start a little cat and mouse game, but the mouse outfoxes the cat for the moment. It's 1 ball, no strikes.
Lauren's pretty calm, cool, and collected back there at catcher to wait.
1-0, swinging a fly ball, right field, base hit. Scoring on the play is Miller. Sydney Miller stops at second, and the Mohawks are already with 4-0 lead on a Kayla Till RBI single to right.
Just got to keep working here. Lizzie's doing a good job being around the zone. There's just some well-placed balls at this point in time that haven't allowed us an opportunity to go get.
Kayla Till now with 11 RBI on the season. Bobby Tilkes swings and fouls the first pitch. Third base side, no balls and 1 strike. Coach Iverson making the recovery near the third base Decorah dugout. No balls and 1 strike count. Hartman ready, and the 0-1 delivery swung on and missed on a good dropper, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, another solid pitch. Lizzie's she's putting it around the plate for us to really give us an opportunity to make some plays here.
First and second with nobody out in the pitch. Rise ball high. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hartman, control-wise, has gotten a lot better throughout the course of the season.
Yeah, the whole team has grown in so many ways. Lizzie's had to log a lot of innings, but...
Little slow roller, third base side. Neerling makes the pickup, throws to first base, and throws it into right field. Miller will score. Till being waved in. She will score on the error, and it is a 6-0 lead for Mason City.
So Till did it cleanly, but just a not very good throw. Works its way up the line, allows 2 runs to scorers.
6-0 Mason City. Still nobody out here in the top of the first inning, and McKenna Mentick will be the batter. Mentick, just a freshman. She is the starting pitcher for the Mohawks as well. Swinging a foul at the plate. No balls and 1 strike.
Lizzie's just got to keep working around the plate. Only takes 1 pitch to get an out. Everybody's got to make sure when they get that opportunity, they field it cleanly and make a good solid throw.
No balls and 1 strike to count in the pitch. Rise ball high. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. And just can't let her frustrations get the best of her right now. Lizzie's a competitive kid, and you can see her slamming the ball into her glove a little bit, but you got to channel that energy for some positivity. As the pitch inside corner for a strike, it's now 1-2 on McKenna Mentick. 6-0 Mason City, top of the first.
Yeah, Lizzie's just got to keep willing herself around the plate, keep her motions in check, and just worry about the next pitch.
The pitch swung on, a fly ball into left field. Schwartzoff is after it, and it's off her glove, and it goes all the way to the fence. Scoring is Bobby Tilkes on the error by McKenna Mentick. It's a 7-0 lead for Mason City.
Kind of continues to be the issue, a ball that should be caught. Out in the outfield, we just have to find a way to make sure that we come up with it.
Courtesy runner.
And a courtesy runner is coming in for the pitcher for Mason City, and that will be Sierra Miner. And Erica Mariner will be the batter. Still nobody out in the first inning, and Mason City couldn't have asked for a better start. If the start was going to be like this, you almost wish you would have lost the coin flip.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you credit the Mohawks for putting the ball in play. As Natalie Heffern will go out to left field to get Ashley Schwartzoff.
Yeah, you've got to give total credit for them. Each extra out that they've been given, they've driven the softball quite hard in several sittings as well. You just when a team does that, you've got to take advantage of the outs when they're out in front of you and make a play.
7-0 Mason City here in the top half of the first inning. 3 Viking errors as well. As the change reported to the Mason City dugout by home plate umpire Doug Boland. And away we go. 7-0 Mason City here in the top half of the first inning. And Erica Mariner is the number 9 batter in the lineup. Hartman ready, and the first offering rolls in low. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Vikes did have an out, but Lizzie was called for an illegal pitch on it.
Yep.
And 3 errors, which will tell you that the Vikes, had they made the plays, would be out of the inning right now.
Yes, be out of the inning. Some runs would definitely be on the board just based off the way the Mohawks have driven the ball very, very, very well. But when that happens, you just got to find a way to gain the outs when you can get them.
1-1 pitch, outside corner for a strike, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes on Erica Mariner. Hannah Factor is in the on-deck circle. She got the fun started with an infield hit in the first inning. 1-2, swinging a foul right side out of play, so we'll do it again at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Winner of this game goes to Charles City on Saturday night. On the other side of the bracket, it's Dubuque-Wahlert and Western Dubuque tonight. The winner of that game will play West Delaware. Has a line drive into right field. It'll be a base hit. Stopping at third will be Sierra Miner. First and third. With still nobody out here in the first inning.
Yeah, just another solid line drive just over Alex's head. Not a play that would have been able to make on that end of things, but done a super job, Mason City, of driving the ball the other way on some of the pitches on the outer half of the plate.
Hannah Factor started this inning singling and scoring in the first inning. As the pitch goes high, the runner at first takes off, and Eggert will bluff a throw down to second as Mariner will take it without a throw. It's no balls and 1 strike, actually, on Factor. Factor Also a participant in the Mason City girls basketball team, which won the 4A state title this year. Pitch outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, very familiar to postseason play on that end of things, and obviously she's a sophomore hitting in the leadoff spot for this team in this league that they play in. A pretty good athlete.
Pitch goes high, 2 balls and 1 strike. I think when it comes to these sports that Decorah has 5 classes in the girls' union, going to that a few years ago. It's still a little bit of transition for our community, Adam.
Absolutely.
The 2-1 delivery is in there for a strike. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gone are the days where you're facing Crestwood, New Hampton walk on to get to a state tournament, and now you're facing a whole different field of competition.
Yeah.
2-2 delivery, outside corner, strike 3 called, and finally the first out here in the first inning.
And to speak to that point too, the schools that were playing a little different level of competition, it certainly had an impact on the traditional rivalries,
yep.
and I think that does impact interest on that end of things. And
Anna Lensing reached on an error and scored in the first. First pitch, rise ball high from Lizzie, 1 ball, no strikes. 7-0 Mason City. We're still in the top half of the first inning. As the pitch goes low, 2 balls, no strikes. I've editorialized enough on the change from the girls' union, and you have to work with those people, so I won't ask you to.
Yeah, I have my thoughts, and they're very clear, and they've been expressed.
2-0 in there for a strike. It's 2-1.
You still want to do what's good for kids in high school athletics, and we certainly enjoy our traditional rivalries a little bit. Total respect for this matchup. We match up with Mason City in basketball, and
yep.
Great community, great support in terms of the way they support both their male and their female athletics. And
3-1 delivery in there for a strike. It's 3-2.
It's a great opportunity to be able to match up and meet with them on some different levels of competition at any given point in time, because I think there are some very good things with both communities and the level of respect.
3-2, high ball 4. That's the second walk for Hartman here in the first inning.
So I know some people might say we gripe in terms of a competitive advantages or disadvantage. That's really not really relevant for us. We want to give kids an understanding of matchups and where some things are at. If we meet a Mason City further down the road, that's great, not a problem.
Jenny King into left field and a base hit, and it gets by Heffern all the way to the fence. Miner scores, Mariner scores, rounding third, coming to the plate is Lensing. She will score a 10-run first inning for Mason City. It's 10-0. On a 3-run double for Jenny King. King 2 for 2 with 4 RBI thus far here in inning number 1.
Ball was hit hard.
Yep.
Lizzie's still doing a good job of making sure that she's working both sides of the plate. Ability to change speed a little bit is one thing.
And that's probably, as you look into the future with Lizzie, keeping the ball out of the middle of the zone and getting a bit more movement and probably hitting her spots off speed. As ground ball goes to second, it's booted there by Alex Hable, and reaching there will be Sammy Miller as King reaches it to third. When you look at the next step that Lizzie will likely take, because she's a hard-working kid, changing speeds, getting the ball out of the middle of the zone, and maybe getting a little bit more movement on her ball as well.
Being just a sophomore, one thing that she's done a really good job.
Sydney Miller pops one out into left field. Natalie Heffern is under it, and she drops it out in left field. And moving up to second base will be Miller. Scoring is King. 5th error of the inning for Decorah. It's 11-0 Mason City.
Definitely a ball that needs to be caught. If we go back to Lizzie, having to log the sheer number of innings that she's had to log this year, just based off of a short of a pitcher, she's really grown in terms of being able to be around the plate consistently.
Yep.
We've got 1 walk this inning, I believe, 2, but she's around the plate at a higher frequency ratio, which is really good. Developmentally, you'd like to see her be able to log some innings, not maybe as many as she has to, so she's forced to be able to have some trial and error and continue to get a little bit better in terms of changing speed. She's got the location piece down, just still has to develop that one extra pitch.
Kayla Till will be the batter. She is the 15th batter of this inning. She singled, knocked in a run, scored herself earlier this frame. We're still in the top of the first as the pitch goes wild and gets by Lauren Eggert. And up to second and third go Miller and Miller. Sounds like a law firm. And it's 1 ball, no strikes.
Didn't know they were going to get some free advertising today.
1-0 the count to Kayla Till as the pitch a little bit low, a little bit outside. 2 balls and no strikes the count. 11-0 Mason City, and we are still in the top half of the first inning. The 2-0 delivery is in there for a strike. It's 2 balls and 1 strike now.
You know, teams get themselves in a half inning like what we're seeing here, and it's you kind of have to will yourself to, when there's been some errors, to be the person out in the field that you want the ball hit to you. Not be afraid to be able to have that opportunity.
Pitch outside corner for a strike, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. 11-0 Mason City here in the first. Ground ball towards third, knocked down there by Neerling, and she bobbles it, and everyone's going to be safe. Sammy Miller will score. It's 12-0 Mason City, 7th error of the inning for Decorah.
Was in her glove well initially, just needed to stick her right hand and stick a fork through it to make sure it's stuck in her hand to be able to be ready to make the throw.
And I think you saw a little bit of maybe pressing right there with Haley, because I think Decorah's defense right now has the attitude of, what do I do if the ball's hit to me? Is that one rolled into left field off the bat of Tilkus for a base hit, and the runners will stop at second and third. So
yep, you're right, and that kind of goes back to that reference. You have to be ready to be the person who you want to be able to have the ball hit to you. You can't sit there and shy away or hesitate away based off of what you've seen and what has happened here.
As Tilkus will get a pinch runner at first base. Haley Norcross will be the runner over there.
Again, want to give credit to Mason City. They've hit the ball hard. They've had several hits here that are very legitimate hits, and they've executed very well.
12-0 Mason City. We're still here in the top of the first inning, and the 17th batter of the inning is McKenna Mentink. M-E-N-T-I-N-K. If I can get my Pat Hughes on, the pitch in there for a strike, 0-1.
Yes.
Bases loaded, still only 1 out here in the first inning. The 0-1 delivery just missed outside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Temperature a lot cooler than it was when we got here. The humidity is out of here at least.
Yeah.
Pitch swinging a foul at the plate, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. And you see Maddie Clement starting to warm up in the Decorah bullpen down the left field line.
Just still have to be reminded it takes 1 pitch to get out of the inning here. Or 1 pitch to gain 1 more out.
1-2 ground ball up the middle and through for a base hit. Miller will score. Till will stop at third. It's 13-0 Mason City.
Another well hit ball. We're drawn up a little on the infield. That in the thing, so it's placed in a good spot as far as being a hard ground ball through the infield.
Sierra Minor will be the courtesy runner at first base. 13-8-0 for Mason City. 0-0-7 thus far for Decorah. Erica Mariner is the 18th batter of the inning. Single to right and scored in the first inning as the pitch in there for a strike from Lizzie. No balls and 1 strike. And of these runs that have scored, it's just kind of a heck of a thing to say. 13 runs have scored, and only 3 have been earned.
Yep.
Pitch outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. So, I know as you look to improve things and look to get out of where you're at when it comes to softball, 1-1 delivery, swing and a miss. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. I know it's fun to go pitching and go hitting in the hitting cage, but hit some fly balls to each other, hit some ground balls to each other, because that's just as important. The 1-2 delivery in there for a strike, and strike 3 called. Mariner down for the 2nd out of the inning.
Pitching and defense is where it is at in this game. You can increase your opportunities by making sure you consistently put the ball in play, but the ability to field the ball is very, very crucial.
Hannah Factor batting for the 3rd time in this inning. Singled and scored in the first, struck out looking here in the first as that's a fly ball to center field. Lexi Leuenberger right after it, and she will make the catch to retire the side. So the Mohawks with 13 runs here in the first inning. 8 hits, helped out by 7 Decorah errors and 3 runners left. We head to the bottom of the first inning. It will be Mason City 13, Decorah coming to bat, and the Vikes will bat this way. Katie Nimrod in right field, Riley Monteith at shortstop. Haley Neerling at third, Lizzie Hartman the pitcher, Lauren Eggert the catcher, Lexi Leuenberger in center field. Ambria Ambria Pipo at first base, Alex Abel at second base, Tori Miller, the designated player, and now Natalie Heffern out in left field. And that lineup will face a freshman pitcher, McKenna Mentink, 6-15 with the 6.37 ERA this year. 347 opponents batting average against, 134 innings, 216 hits, 122 earned runs, 54 walks, and 50 strikeouts. As you look at this Mason City team, statistically, they are a team that has committed 82 errors, average of a couple per game this year. So if you put the ball in play against this team, maybe you can make some things happen.
You just got to take it one at bat and one half inning at a time at this point in time, and just still work on refining. Work to find everything positive that you can when it comes time to it. They're, like we said, they're a young team. There's 4 freshmen out there, 1 8th grader. Obviously, they're nice ball players when it comes to that, but the more we can do to put a little pressure in their direction by consistently put the ball in play, it'll be a good thing here.
Katie Nimrod will be the batter. Nimrod, a .386 hitter on the season. More importantly, as the on-deck hitter, a .438 on-base percentage. That one looped over the head of the pitcher, Mentik, fielded at second by Till. Throw to first base, not in time. Nimrod reaches to start things here in the bottom of the first inning.
Can't say enough good things. She didn't even really get all of it, but Katie's approach at the plate has just been rock solid all year long. Just I want to square up balls every time that they come my direction.
Riley Monteith will be the batter. Mentik delivers, and the pitch a strike, 0-1. Really shocking to see a Nimrod having a good approach at the plate.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been good. It's been a good run. Lots of fun to see kids just get in the box and be ready to swing the bat.
0-1 delivery, swinging a foul straight back out of play. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Hannah Factor in left, Katie Bortman in center, Erica Mariner in right for Mason City. Sydney Miller at third, Jenny King at short, Kayla Till at second, Anna Lensing at first, Sammy Miller behind the plate, and McKenna Mentink in the circle. 0-2 delivery, swing on a fly ball towards deep center field. Bortman going back, and that one is going to be against the fence. Nimrod will make it to third on the double by Monteith. Second and third with nobody out for the Vikings here in the bottom of the first.
Really solid swing by Riley on that end of things. Katie had to hesitate a little bit just because it had a chance to be caught, so she couldn't extend quite as far as what she'd want, otherwise she'd be in position to score.
Haley Neerling will be the batter. Monteith with her 6th double as Haley looks at the first pitch inside. 1 ball, no strikes, and with due respect to Riley, that's probably the first time she's going to be even with Katie Nimrod in her race.
Yeah, that's...
and she'd probably agree with that.
Yeah, she probably would. There's no doubt about that.
1 ball, no strikes, and the pitch well outside. It gets by the catcher, Miller, but not enough to warrant runner advancement. 2 balls, no strikes, though, on Haley Neerling.
No, another thing that this team has done a really good job with our youth, with a fair amount of sophomores and an 8th grader in the mix, is we've done a good job of our offensive approach at the plate has been pretty good. We've put the ball in play. We've obviously a few games here and there not so hot, but that's the way softball works sometimes. 2-0,
swinging a pop-up on the first base side. At first base, Anna Lensing there to make the catch for the first out here in the first inning. Second and third, 1 down, and the batter is Lizzie Hartman.
Lizzie wants to just really make an approach to get a run across, get a pitch that you can really get the barrel on the ball, and we'll get a run across here.
Hartman from the right-hand side of the plate against the freshman right-hander Mentik. Swinging a pop-up foul, first base side, and out of play. Leaving the bleachers off to our right. The softball field located right behind Mason City High School, just off of Old Highway 18.
Yeah, nice little setting.
That neighborhood in the background. And the baseball, their baseball field, do they play downtown as well as Newman?
Yes. Yep.
And their football field, they got tennis courts here as well. The pitch outside corner for a strike. It is no balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, I've done a lot of good things. I know they've had several additions that they've put on here in the last 5 years here at the high school, and really tried to do some things.
0-2 delivery, swinging a pop-up, foul ball, third base side. Calling at third base is Sydney Miller, and catching is Sammy Miller, the catcher. It turned into an I got it, boom, out situation.
Yeah, I don't think Sydney was too happy, actually. I think she got a little elbow from her sister on top of it. Not intentional, but probably lead to an interesting discussion at the dinner table tonight.
Lauren Eggert will be the batter. Again, good to have her back in the lineup after the concussion last week. Pitch a strike, 0-1. Second and third, 2 down, bottom of the first inning. It's a 13-0 lead for Mason City. Decorah is the home team. by virtue of the coin flip. Pitch swung on, popped up, shallow right field. Going out is Till, the second baseman. She will make the catch to retire the side. So 2 hits and 2 runners left. We are 1 inning complete. It is Mason City 13 and Decorah nothing. Mohawks leading by a 13-0 margin as we start things here in the bottom of the second inning. First pitch outside to Anna Lensing. 1 ball, no strike. She reached on an errand, scored in the first, walked and scored in the first. Mohawks with a 13-run first inning. They had 8 hits themselves, and Decorah helped them out with 7 errors. Lensing takes the strike. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. The pitch looped foul, first base side, out of play, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Things have definitely gotten a little chillier than we...
yeah, a little cooler.
Than when we showed up.
It was plenty hot enough earlier. So.
Yeah, it was. The humidity was warm. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, hopefully you and I won't smell as badly as we did initially then. So.
Well, no promises.
Yeah.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count. Lensing, King, and Miller. 2, 3, and 4 due for Mason City here in the third. Pitch swung on, foul back. Good job of protecting by Lensing, because that was a pretty good changeup from Lizzie.
Yes, yes. And she knows and understands where she needs to be just at that next level, and she's even progressed with that even in the last week or so. And part of it's just being confident.
Pitch low and in, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 13-0 Mason City. Look around the area at the teams that are still alive. Southwind's still alive in 2A. They're in a regional semifinal tomorrow night. The pitch goes high, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Lansing Key in a regional semifinal tomorrow night. So when you really look at it, the record is what it is for Decorah. The 3-2 looped towards the middle of the infield and it'll land out in center for a base hit. So Lansing reaches for the 3rd consecutive time. You look at the schedule Decorah's played, you have to say Decorah's played a pretty tough schedule.
Yeah, and I'm not going to lie in terms of the conference where I viewed where I thought it would be at the beginning of the year and where it was after seeing the cycle of everybody come through. The Waverlys, the Charles Cities, and the Crescos of the world, and New Hampton.
Fly ball, right field. King hits it off the fence. Reaching third is Lensing. She'll get a stop sign there. King now 3 for 3 with 2 doubles and 4 RBIs on the evening. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out here in inning number 2.
Yeah, there's been some quality softball played in the area, undoubtedly. And you just gotta find ways to string together outs against quality softball teams. 2nd
and 3rd, nobody out. Sammy Miller will be the batter. She's 1 for 2 officially, but has reached base twice. She'll look at a strike, nothing in 1. 2-run double in the first, reached on an errand, scored in the first as well. 13-0 Mason City, top half of the second inning. The pitch low and in is 1 ball and 1 strike to count on Miller.
Good purpose pitch by Lizzie. Get ahead in the count. Throw a drop ball, make sure it's down, get eyes down.
1 ball and 1 strike, and the pitch goes low. It's 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Of course, Waverly, Shellrock, and Charles City both getting byes in the first round of regionals, and the pitch goes inside. 3 balls and 1 strike. And Girls Union, they do make a conceited effort to try to get the best 8 teams to the state tournament. Credit Charles City for having a good enough year that they split them and Waverly Shellrock up.
Yes, agreed. That is a concerted effort. They are very consistent. I know there's lots of different opinions on that when you compare what the boys do with the seeding versus the other. But I know in that office they do a really good job of putting a lot of time in, making sure that they try to get things split up the best that they possibly can.
3 balls, 2 strikes. The count remains on Sammy Miller.
And there's plenty of debate that can enter into that too.
Exactly.
When it comes down to it, whether you say it's a regional basis or not.
3 balls, 2 strikes, the count. Ground ball towards short. Monteith will field. She'll throw across the diamond to get the out. Scoring on the play is Lensing. Up to third goes King. It's 14-0 Mason City, but the Vikes do get the first out here in the second inning.
Another cleanly fielded ball by Riley on that end of things. Nice smooth, take it across and work for an out. Get the first out of the inning here.
Runner at third, 1 down, 1 in. 14-0 Mason City. Sidney Miller walked and scored in the first, reached on an error and scored in the first as well. 13-run first inning as Miller hits one well deep right field. That ball is gone. Just over the fence in right field. Miller with a 2-run homer, and that makes it a 16-0 lead for Mason City.
Ball was up in the zone, Darren. and she knew exactly what to do with it once it was up in the zone.
Miller, the senior, that's her first home run of the season. Spot here in the second inning to follow a 13-run spot in the first inning as Coach Iverson having a conversation with his infield and battery in the circle.
Basically, Coach Iverson's wanting to come out and say, let's minimize our focus on something, on that end of things. And there, if you put the ball in the zone and they hit it, we got to make sure we keep it down in the zone. We tip our caps to them. It's we just have to make sure we continue to eliminate the errors in which plays that need to be made and we're capable of making to make sure we make them.
And in this inning, it's been a base hit. It's been a double to the fence.
Yep.
It's been a home run.
It's been earned. Each one of them have been legitimate balls that have been hit.
Kayla Till looks the first one high from Hartman. 1 ball, no strikes, 16-0 Mason City. Here in the top half of the second inning, Decorah is the home team. 1 ball, no strikes. Getting back to that conversation of the girls' union and the way they set up postseason. Pitch goes high, 2 balls, no strikes. Sometimes those postseasons don't go as planned, but it's like I have the conversation with a lot of people. 2 balls, no strikes. The count, pitch looped into right center field and land for a base hit. So Till on base for the 3rd time in this ball game. Asking someone to predict how 15 to 18-year-old kids are going to react on a certain given day. I know parents have been trying to do that since Adam and Eve, and you know what? It's a heck of a lot tougher than. If somebody can figure out, they'd have probably a bigger job, as that one deep and foul down the left field line off the bat of Phil Tilkis actually left the yard, but it was foul. 4 balls and 1 strike. If somebody can figure out that job, they probably have a higher paying job than the girls' union.
Absolutely. Write a book, you'll make millions when it comes to that. But it's part of what it is. We've become such an ultra-competitive environment that exists anymore that's so strong off the basis of winning and losing. And people do forget, even at the collegiate level, let alone the high school level, they're high school students.
Yep.
This is interscholastic athletics, and that's what we're trying to accomplish here. Granted, we want to win, and we want to teach the tools of being successful, so it'll help them later on in life. But people do need to keep that in mind.
Tilkis swung and missed, and a wild pitch got the runner Till to second. And the next pitch low to Tilkis. 1 ball and 2 strikes. As the pitch goes low and in, it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to count.
Yeah. And I'm a big fan of activities in general, but the stresses that it can put on kids at different points in time, everybody has to keep things in mind when it comes to that, because there are certain stresses.
Grounded to short, picked up there by Monty, throws across the diamond to get the second out. Moving up to 3rd on the play is Till. 2 down, 3 in the inning. The batter is McKenna Minting.
Another cleanly fielded ball, solid throw by Riley. She's really done a nice job at shortstop. I know there's been some moments where she bobbles the ball, but the way she approaches it very aggressively, pretty solid play there.
So 2 down and a runner at 3rd. Mentink has reached on an error and had an RBI single as some sprinkles start to fall here in Mason City. The pitch in there for a strike. It is 0-1. 0-1 the count, 16-0 Mason City here in the top half of the second inning. Decorah is the visiting or the home team here tonight. The 0-1 delivery swung on a fly ball towards left field. Natalie Heffern retreating, lunging up, making the catch, and that's that for the second inning. 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors and 1 left. We are an inning and a half completed, 16-0 Mason City. Lexi Leuenberger swings at the first one and fouls at first base side. It's caught by Anna Lensing. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the second inning. And Ambria Pipo will be the batter. Promising young player for the Vikings. Played a lot of JV this year and kind of solidified that first base position late in the season. Pipo stands in from the right-hand side and takes the pitch low. 1 ball, no strike. 16-0 Mason City as we play the bottom of the second.
Yeah, Embry's had a good year. She's been vaulted in a little bit into this a little sooner than what I think everybody had wanted, but she's really kept her wits about her. It's amazing the schedule at an 8th grader if they're going to have to play multiple levels on top of driver's ed and stuff that they have to keep, and she's kind of kept a pretty good head about her through it all. So
ground ball right side. Till picks it up at second and throws to first to retire Pipo. There's 2 down here in the inning. And Coach Iverson out down to have a conversation with Doug Bolin as the sun peeks out among the sprinkles here in Mason City. 16-0 the score as we go to the bottom half of the second inning. That's one thing that you brought it up. I know this happens a lot with baseball kids as well and softball kids. Just with the numbers situation, you've had to have some 8th graders and 9th graders dress varsity, and oftentimes they're playing ball morning, noon, and night.
Yeah, it's like a full-time job. They're busier now than during the summertime than what they would during the regular part of the school year. And they can't drive, so the parents have to make huge sacrifices, taking them all over the place. So, it's not ideal with the situation we've had to have as many of the young kids up as we have.
Alex Abel pops out to short and Jenny King. The Vikings go 1-2-3 here in the second inning. 16-0 Mason City after 2. 16-0 Mason City here in the top of the third. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. The count on Erica Mariner. Actually, this is a pinch hitter, I should say, for Mason City. And the batter is Kelsey Walswick. Kelsey Walswick batting for Erica Mariner, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Mason City, a 13-run first inning, helped out by 7 Decorah errors. They had 8 hits of their own. They were putting it in play, and Vikings, unfortunately, weren't able to make the plays. The pitch goes high. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. It's sprinkling here in Mason City, but the sun is out as well.
Looking for the rainbow somewhere.
Ground ball, third base side, fielded there by Haley Neerling. Throws across the diamond to retire Wellswick, and there's 1 down here in the third inning.
Cleanly fielded ball with a very, very solid throw. We just got to keep working on our youngsters to be able to do it consistently.
Ashley Schwartzoff back in left field on the re-entry for Decorah. Hannah Factor is 1 for 3 in the game. The leadoff hitter batting for the 4th time here in the third. She bunts third base side, and it's caught there by Neerling. 2 up, 2 down here in the third inning. And Ashley, the lone senior on this team.
Yeah.
In fact, she was the lone junior a year ago, a 4-sport kid involved in virtually everything. Those are the kids we're proud of at Decorah.
Absolutely. FFA officer, we talk about how busy some kids are in a lot of different ways, and everything that Ashley's done, she's done very well to the best of her ability with a very, very good teammate mentality and throughout her years in high school.
1 ball, 1 strike. The count on Anna Lensing, who is 1 for 2 with a walk, reached on an error, and scored 3 runs thus far. 16-0 Mason City here in the top half of the third inning. 1-1 delivery rising high. It is 2 balls and 1 strike count. Ashley, of course, got to be a part of that third-place team in girls tennis this year as well. As the pitch swinging a foul third base side. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, worked her way into playing number 1 doubles with Miss Peterson, and things really clicked, and really got the most out of her ability based off a consistent effort all the time.
2-2 delivery inside for 3 balls, 2 strikes on Anna Lensing. Actually, this is not Anna Lensing. This is a pinch hitter, Riley Theobald. Theobald. And the pitch outside from Lizzie, and ball 4 to Theobald, batting for Lensing. A runner at first, 2 down, 16-0 Mason City here in the third. So for those of you not familiar with the rule in softball, if Mason City does not score any more here in the top of the third inning, the Vikings will need to score 5 to keep the game going, as softball has a mercy rule of 12 after 3. As the pitch goes high to Jenny King, 1 ball and no strikes. King, 3 for 3, 2 doubles, 4 RBIs, 3 runs scored. The pitch goes high. It's 2 balls and no strikes to count. See members of the Charles City softball team here tonight with head coach Brian Bolin. 2-0 the count, and the pitch looped out into left field after his Schwartzoff. She'll have to play it on a hop, first and second, with 2 down here in the inning. Barring anything really weird, Mason City will make the trip down Highway 18 and take on the Charles City Comets at Sportsman's Park on Saturday night.
Yeah, some familiarity in that matchup between the two. I know from a certain phase in my life where work and coach a little bit in Charles City, that was a good matchup for in the summertime, where the ball clubs from Mason City and Charles City would get together and have some real good battles.
Sarah Miner will bat now for Sammy Miller. 16-0 Mason City here in the top half of the third inning as the pitch goes inside. And the runner is going to be called out at second base. Anna Lensing left the bag early And that's going to be that for the third inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. Bottom of the third inning. The Vikes need 5 to keep it going. It is 16-0 Mason City. Tori Miller will lead things off here in the third inning. Again, the Vikings need 5 runs in this frame to keep this game going as Miller fouls it right side out of play. No balls and 1 strike. Miller, Nimrod, and Monteith, 16-0 Mason City. They scored 13 runs in the first inning and frankly never looked back. Their first 9 batters reached, and they sent 19 to the plate in that inning. Pitch outside, 1 ball, 1 strike to count as the rain starts to fall with a little bit more intensity. Good thing Adam and I aren't sugar. Not going to melt anytime soon. Pitch goes high, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Some people say we might need a shower, Goob.
Well, but enough about your wife and your kids.
Yeah.
2 balls, 1 strike to count. The 2-1, swinging a pop-up first base side. Anna Lensing at first base under it. Near the bag, makes the catch from her first base position. 1 down here in the third inning. 1 down, nobody on. And Katie Nimrod will be the batter. Katie will be entering her junior year here in a couple months when team goes down to Waverly to open up the cross-country season. She's definitely going to be one of the leaders on that squad.
Yeah, been another busy summer for her.
1 ball and no strikes to count. 1-0 delivery well outside. 2 balls and no strikes now.
You know, there's a race in the Nimrod household to see who's going to hit the most home runs.
Yeah. Isn't Katie about in first place already?
I think she's already taken the cake.
The pitch in there for a strike. My sources say Colin was bragging about practice home runs.
Yeah, those don't count.
They shouldn't.
No.
But nonetheless, 2-1, swinging a pop-up, shallow right. Kayla Till going over from her second base position. She will make the catch. 2 down here in the third inning. And the last hope for the moment for Decorah is Riley Monteith. She doubled to left her first time up. Monteith looks at the first pitch outside. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Rain's starting to come down a little bit more. Pitch, ground ball, foul, and that one almost got Coach Iverson.
Still quick like a cat, isn't he?
Exactly.
Hips giving him
Actually,
issues and he's still ready to go.
He quick like a cat?
Well, I've just heard stories, that's all.
Heard he was a good pitcher back in the day.
Yeah.
Or a slightly above average high school pitcher.
Slightly above average.
Like we like to say.
Lefty comes down off the mound and look out, everybody.
He was a poor man's Craig Anderson, perhaps. 1-1 outside, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, different hands, but either or, it's all good.
2 balls, 1 strike with 2 down. 16-0 Mason City here in the bottom of the third inning. Mentek trying to close it out for the Mohawks. Swinging a pop-up. Shallow center field. Vortman coming on. Out is the shortstop King. King will make the catch. And that's that. 16-0 Mason City. 16 runs, 13 hits, no errors. 5 left for the Mohawks. No runs, 2 hits, 7 errors, and 2 left for Decorah. Winning pitcher is McKenna Mentek and the losing pitcher Hartman. So the Mohawks move on at 9-31. The Vikings call it a season at 6-24, and obviously nowhere to go but up from here. And I think when you look at that error total, that's where this team has to improve more than anything.
Yeah, you got to play defense to be able to give yourself a chance to be able to be in ball games. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Offensive efficiency wasn't exactly what we looked for. Started off like gangbusters, but a lot of good things. Last year at this point in time, and when we talked about some younger players and some other stuff, a few injuries definitely changed things. And I know sometimes young ladies decide not to continue on because they think somebody else is already ahead of them, and the next thing you know, there's an injury or two, and if they'd be there, things would be a little bit different in that aspect. But that's not to say one way or another. The effort of this group of girls has been really solid. I know Coach Iverson and Coach Randall have done a super job keeping them positive, keeping them upbeat, knowing that they're going against some juniors and seniors in a lot of different situations and a little bit outmatched when it comes to that. And it's a very fast, intense season on that end of things, and how to find a way to recharge batteries matters a little little bit at that end of things too. So.
Well, Adam, it's your one appearance of the year. It lasted about 56 minutes, unfortunately, but I'll give you a microphone maybe once or twice in the future.
As long as we don't make ourselves look too bad, it's good. We appreciate everything that you do, Darren, to be able to support the kids and be at all the events. Obviously, we see each other at all the same events all the time, but it's a huge commitment on your life, and we appreciate that greatly.
All right, Adam Riley exiting the broadcast. Many people to thank for making it possible. First and foremost, our advertisers, good sports-minded people who helped us bring the game wherever you were tonight. Without their help, this coverage would not be possible. So, as always, we encourage you to support the businesses who support local high school sports. And lastly, and most importantly, we thank you. That's right, you, the listener, for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast. If not, the outcome 16-0 Mason City ends Decorah's softball season in 3 innings tonight. So, tomorrow night will be Viking baseball. Vikings take on Charles City from Olensack Field in Decorah. Our coverage will begin at 5:30 for that conference doubleheader. So for Adam Riley, Darren Swinson saying so long from Mason City. The Mohawks win it 16-0 in 3. Thanks a bunch for tuning in, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow night.